Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Bill Mahari here, represent Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire basketball community. Um, I want to personally, thank all my subscribers and all my supporters out there for this channel, there, man. And this channel's been growing, exponentially, and we're slowly making moves out here, guys. So we're very, very close to reaching 1,000 subscribers. So I want to make sure that to give my thanks to you guys and continue to spread the word about the channel and share the videos on your social media platforms. It really does help the channel grow. Now, I wanted to talk about last night. LeBron James played another great game and had another triple double in the series. Now, last night he had 38 points, grabbed 16 rebounds, and dished out 10 assists in 40 minutes of play. His teammate Anthony Davis scored 27 points, had 5 rebounds and 3 assists, and they would pretty much control the game from the very tap. And the Nuggets, put up a good fight, but pretty much the Lakers were too much for them. And I had said coming in that the Nuggets could get at least 1 or 2 games in this series, and they only ended up getting one. So, but the Lakers now are in the 2020 NBA Finals for the 32nd time in franchise history since the franchise moved from Minneapolis to Los Angeles back in 1960. They've made prior to yesterday 31 NBA Finals appearances with 16 NBA championships. And pretty much the Lakers have been the model of consistency in NBA history in terms of building championship teams, acquiring great talented players and things that in the third. And they're pretty much the model of consistency for pretty much the entire time. And for LeBron James, this is going to be his 10th NBA Finals. All right, since 2011, he's made 2012. He's made at least about 6 to 8 finals appearances, with the exception of 2019 when he was out with the groin injury. Now, it is true that he's only won 3 championships, that he's 3-7 in the finals. But let's put this in proper context, you guys. I may not like LeBron James, for other reasons, but this is strictly going to be basketball related. For LeBron James to maintain that high level of performance throughout his career is just remarkable. The man is literally 35 years old, and he continues to put up amazing numbers. Okay, now sure that there were some people that felt that he should have won this year's MVP, but listen, I'm at to the same boat that listen, it's a regular season award, and Giannis did a lot more for his team during the regular season than what LeBron did, and but it doesn't take away what he's been able to achieve. Now, for him to make 10 finals appearances is very, very difficult. There are not many players in the history of basketball, even great players like Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, you know what I'm saying? David Robinson, who's won 2 championships, but he's with only 2 finals appearances. He's now reached to the level status of a Bill Russell in terms of finals appearances, not championships. I want to keep that very, very clear. But for LeBron James to achieve 10 finals appearances is, remarkable. Say what you want to say about how he was able to achieve it. Now, I agree that he sometimes took the easy way out to get to the finals, but getting there is the toughest part. Winning it is even harder. And for LeBron James and his teams to make it to the finals, you know, during that period of time, it's not easy because you have to make sure things go your way to make those goals possible. And for LeBron James this year and for Anthony Davis, they pretty much have been playing, consistently good basketball even after the season stopped due to the pandemic. And they basically continued on, throughout the whole shortened bubble season and throughout the playoffs. Now, the reason why I always feel the way I feel about LeBron is simply this: it's some of the things that he does, behind the scenes that is just leaves you shaking your head, and he doesn't need to do that. But I'm not going to discuss on that too much because it would just take me off the focus on the subject in hand here. But LeBron has really evolved his game, ever since he was drafted in 2003, and he's grown into a phenomenally talented player and one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. I will never dispute that whatsoever. Okay, and yes, unfortunately, his record in the finals is leaves you shaking your head, and I agree 100%. But making the finals, 10 plus times is hard. Is very very difficult. It takes a level of commitment and a level of consistency and excellence to really achieve that. And I really believe at this particular point in time that LeBron deserves his credit for what he was able to achieve. Now, whoever faces in the finals, either the Celtics or the Heat, that's going to be really really interesting to see. Um, we'll see what happens tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that Miami is going to at least try to close this out. But these playoffs this year have been really really wild because remember, they're playing in neutral sites, and there's not really a home court advantage if you really think about it. You're basically playing in a practice level facility, and in all sincerity, I think that plays a role of how we're seeing a lot of these weird comebacks and strange performances and things of that sort. And so I think that it's going to be a very interesting scenario if when the Heat or the Celtics, face these Lakers in the NBA Finals. Now, I do have the Lakers beating both of those teams, but the matchups that you'll probably see in those finals will be very, very interesting. But I really think that the Lakers will probably have this figured out, and then LeBron's going to have his fourth NBA championship. Now, does he belong in the same category as Jordan? No, I don't. And I don't care what these LeBron fanboys think about that. But I think that he belongs in the top 10 of greatest players of all time, in my opinion, at least. Some people have him top five. Some people don't even have him top 10. But I just have that as my opinion. To me, LeBron belongs between between 6 through 8 on greatest players of all time. I can't put him, below those two numbers because that would be an insult to him, and I would never do that. But the way he was able to achieve those goals and was able to maintain that level of performance is very hard enough because for him to continuously play at the same high level that he's doing right now is very difficult. There's not many players even at this stage right now that could still perform at that high level that LeBron James has been able to achieve. And right now, entering basically his 17th season in the basically in actually his 17th season. Yep. And next year he'll be going to his 18th season. The question is going to be how long can he maintain this? Because the good old saying is you can basically delay father time, but you can't stop it. So it'll be very interesting to see how he will continue to maintain that same level of performance and same level of a caliber that he's been able to achieve those remaining 17 years of his career. Now, considering the fact that KD's going to be coming back, Kyrie's going to be coming back, Steph Curry's going to be coming back. Okay, the Clippers are still going to be in the mix. We don't know what's going to happen with the Bucks. Okay, things are really going to be interesting in the NBA next season. Okay, there's going to be a lot of different favorites. There's going to be a lot of different stories, and we're going to see who's going to come out of the pack once again. But I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But I just want to personally say, congrats to LeBron James, and the LA Lakers for making the NBA Finals once again. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when this is all over, we're going to be looking back at his entire career and his totality, and we're going to be having the same conversations like we have had when it came to Jordan and Kobe, and between Magic and Bird, and pretty much all the other different players of our own generations. We're going to be having those kind of conversations long into the night, and they're basically going to be mostly opinionated, discussions. And I have no problem with that. There's going to be people that will think that LeBron is the greatest of all time, better than any other player in history. And that's just your opinion. I don't agree with it, but that's just simply your opinion. But the way that he was able to break down the defense of the Nuggets that night was pretty much a work of art. And at the end of the day, you know, you had to be able to know how to orchestrate your attack and pretty much outsmart your opponent. And that's what LeBron has been able to do against inferior players. Against the superstar players has been his greatest challenge. Now, when the finals basically begin this upcoming week. We're gonna see we're going to definitely see what kind of matchups that either the Celtics or the Heat are going to provide against the Lakers. Because you know that you're going to have to find a way to defend against Anthony Davis. You're going to have to find a way to limit, what LeBron is going to be able to do and force the other Lakers to try to, beat them. That's going to be very interesting to see when the finals, get started. So, but salute to LeBron James, salute to the Lakers for the 2010 for racing once again reaching for the NBA Finals for the 32nd time, and we'll see what happens in the 2020 NBA Finals. Who's gonna emerge in the series and come away with the championship? So that's just pretty much how I feel about this whole thing, guys. Appreciate all the love and support. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section.